Hello, welcome to my presentation. My name is Ashley. This is the presentation for the independent study that I've done for fall semester 2019. I was worked at a Amir Bardaran studio company. We were building web software called iBigo. This was a 2-year-long research project done at Columbia University, and the founder Amir Bardaran, he wanted to start the business with this research idea and building this iBigo software. So before diving into UX related research that I've done, I want to talk about what is iBigo. iBigo is artificial intelligence embedded interactive story creating software. It is the futuristic technical service for the next generation storytellers. Lastly, the story that is created via our service is produced as a form of augmented reality experience. So simply says, iBigo, I want to give you some idea what this is more clearly is. When you think about Wix.com or Squarespace.com, for those people who doesn't have a technical background, but they can use this online service and create their website easily. So iBigo is similar to that idea, but we are helping the people to build 3D contents and also AI embedded 3D contents. So why people need iBigo? Before talking about that deeply, I want to talk about the traditional user behavior of storytelling. If someone wants to talk about the story to 3 different audience group or 3 different audience individual, maybe the storyteller storyteller never going to say the story exactly same to 3 different individuals, right? Maybe some part is skipped or some part is explained more details for a certain individual. For example, if I want to tell about how I celebrate the Christmas Day in the United States to 3 different individuals, 3 different audience group. Let's say first group is the friends in the United States. Maybe they get my story right away because we are sharing similar culture here. And if I want to tell this to the friends in Korea, and maybe I need to explain some parts like where I visited, and maybe they don't know where is it and why that place is important to go at the Christmas Day, then I might explain more about it based on the background of his or her. Third group, let's say I want to tell this story to the people in North Korea. Maybe they might don't know about what is Christmas Day, so I need to start over from explaining what is Christmas, the meaning of Christmas, where it comes from, something like that. So in this case, I want to code this factors, which means why I need to change my same story a little bit differently because of this factor. I want to code this as user, because in iBigo software we have this concept inside of our software, and we are using the term like user. So you will see user node. I will revisit this idea when I explain about the UI. So let's continue about the traditional user behavior of storytelling. So now we can see the limitations of the current storytelling system. So I summarized it with the 3 major limitations. First is time, which means the story can be shared or conveyed only if both the storyteller and audience are both available. Secondly, the location. If the storytellers are not around the audience, then the story cannot be conveyed lively. Thirdly, ineffective for the massive audience. When the storytellers tell a story for massive audiences, it is difficult to be sure that each individual gets the story clearly. So you might think of why not using video as a storytelling method or medium. That's true, but in this case, we are more focusing on the storyteller conveys the story to the audience, different types of audiences. Based on the background or some conditions the audience have, the storyteller might change a little bit of some details in the story, or storyline can be changed completely. Those more spontaneous or more natural way to storytelling can be happened with our software IBGO. So our user is creating their story on our IBGO website, which is a little bit similar to video editing software. And then after they are done creating their story, they can download it as a mobile application. And you can send this link to download this mobile application to the audiences. But with the current beta version, cannot support that part, so we are only testing out with our own mobile application app. So now let's talk about the UX UI design of IBGO. So I said earlier, it was the research topic for 2 years at Columbia University, so there were already UIs were built. And this is the original version of the UI that when I joined that group. I will explain more details when I can visit the current UI, so you can just see this as how complicated it is. So even though this was the building a story, every user interaction is based on the selection. So when you want to create the story, you select the scene node, and you select the background set design. Yeah, everything is based on the selecting interaction, which was very not intuitive, and it's hard to memorize the user what they choose before and how it will looks like after done selecting. And yeah, this is also all the selection based interaction. So what I've done firstly is I changed completely the UI wise. So this is the second version of the UI that I started to import. You can see it little bit looks like a video editing system. So on the bottom part, it has a timeline. Yeah, on the timeline you can put the character, stage design, sound, overlay, which is text, and environment. Environment is another concept. So in the future version, we want to use the camera on the back and front together, so that's for the future version. Anyway, in this case, the user can see holistic view of their story because they can select the character and set up the time. So for example, you want to use the female character for the 30 seconds with the 3 lines of the character lines, and then at the same time you want to put the set stage design with the the bedroom set design and the sound same, like when if you want to start with the music and end with the music, you can put the music between the start point and end point of the character, and stage design comes up.
So as you can see here, now at the timeline, each section is showing up what this is. So you see props here, which means properties. One of the set designs ingredient. So curtain, desk, chair, lights, chair, another chair. So these are the set design this user might want to use at the scene 1. And also when you click the props clip, you will see on the right side you can positioning wherever you want, and if these props are like something kind of moving, able to move, can have an animation. Also at the animation section you can add the animation on it. So another user experience challenge I got was how to intuitively give idea of creating new clips. So we decide to use the basic interaction, the double clicking. So whenever they double clicking, the same clip type, which is props at this case, pops up, and you can select it, and you can also adjust the time of it, duration. What if the clip is empty? You can also select the clip type, which can be props or sound or character, anything, and then you can select it, and then this section is locked as a character section or props section, something like that. As I said, character definitely get the animation. You can click the clip and you can select the animation, like how many loops do you want to doing that, or you can also adjust the duration of it. So this is another important part of our software. So at the top you can see the loot tree, right? After scene 1, you can have a user number 1, number 2, and chatbot. So now I want to explain more about what is user node here means. So let's say at the scene 1, I want to have a story like introducing myself. Hi, my name is Ashley, how are you doing? And how was your day? So I want to end this scene with a question. You can create the user node 1, or you can have a multiple user node. So at the user node 1, I want to select the verbal communication if end user says, which means if the audience interact with the character inside of the AR and the audience is respond to the character as I am not happy, then this audience group goes to scene 2. Or if you want to select the user node number 2 in verbal communication, and you put the input as I am doing great, and going scene 3, that makes sense. So now the audience who is interacting with AR and who are in the bad mood, they will see scene 2 as some story for prepared for them, and the audience who are in the really good mood, they are going to scene 3, which is prepared also for them. So what this means is now our storyline is very interactive and also very live. So now I want to talk more about the UX research I've done. So now I want to talk more about the UX research, user research. We invited 3 of our potential users to our office. Most of them are the writers, and let them use our online service, which is beta version, and we got the feedback from them, and also most importantly, we want to listen to their daily life as a writer, what kind of needs they have, what kind of the function they are looking for. So this is the part that I brought from the interview with 2 of them. So as you can read this part, one of the she is the professional writer, story novel writer, and she is full-time writer in the full-time writer job. However, interestingly, after I heard about her daily life story, I figured out her ideal work hour is only less than 3 hours, which is in the morning between 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Mostly other than that time, she's trying to inspiring for her story, and he's also focusing on her second life, which is as a woman. She was like, also she want to do some gardening, and she want to take care of her house, those parts. However, I figured out from all of our potential user, I got the feedback that they are trying to write the more than 2,000 or 10,000 words a day, which is with the second version UI is almost impossible to take care, because so this is the UI for your reminder. We have a really small space for the writing part. I didn't really realize how important this part was, but after interview with these people, I figured out, okay, we need to change the UI, or we have to have an additional UI for this part, writing part. And both our potential users, they were looking for something to inspiring them. So in our future version, we are also looking for some functionality that inspire our users with some other people's story pieces. So in the future, we want to user can share their storylines to each other and build up each other, something like that. So we are looking for like co-working space, online space. So this is the UI. Actually, this UI is from my idea, but we were with our potential user, we were building together, designing together. So I want to explain more about it. So we were going to keep the current UI, but this part will be added as an additional UI. So when you're looking at the real script from drama or TV shows, you will see the character name and their line, and another character name and the line, some blah blah blah, right? So In this section at the left part, you will see which scene are you in, and at the middle part you can select at the bottom part you can select the main speaker and to whom. The reason is that this is AR. Both the characters inside of these scenes are all 3D characters, so we have to force them to see each other. So when you select the first speaker as a Ashley and second speaker as a Rachel, as you can see from first part, in this case Ashley will looking at the Rachel's eye automatically, and the story is going on. And the last part, Ashley to user, Ashley is asking inside of the scene's character, it is asking to user, do you smoke? And maybe now the user might go to the user note, and then you can select the answer from the audience, how they want to answer, and then let them go to scene 3 or scene 4, something like that. It was very meaningful because not only just coming out from my idea, but also with our potential user, we were brainstorming together and then come up with this idea, and they told us that they really want to use this after this service is available, not only for the creating AR contents, but also for their daily script writing activity. So this is it for my fall internship at IBGO company. It was very challenging time because this is very futuristic, targeting the future audience, future users. So there was no such a model that I can refer to or that I can get some hint from. But it was very interesting period of time in my life. First of all, I could learn how to communicate with the developers and founders as a UX professional, because most of the time they are just treat like they are a potential user. So maybe user will like this way, and this is good for them, this functionality should be included because I think this is useful. So that's why we only could have a chance to have a user research, like inviting the potential user to our office just one time, which was very helpful. But now I'm regretting that, like if I've done that when I just got joined that group, then it might be a little bit different, and maybe I could have a more power in my voice to persuade them to like why I need this UI, why I think this UI is very useful. So yeah, thank you for listening to my presentation. Thank you.